Man, and we are back. Week 15. Blessed to be back for another week. Welcome back to Black Friday, everybody. My name is Christian. We got Chris. We got Omar. We got a special guest. We got Colton Pickard here. Colton, man, introduce yourself, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I am nothing more than a memer. I do the memes on the interweb, and that's really my only claim to fame. I occasionally do articles. I do the writing on the interweb as well. So with Young Americans Against Socialism. So yeah, you can check out articles there. But other than memes and writing, there's not much I do around here.
Memes are the way right there. I honestly, man, memes are the way to win. You got to learn, Omar. Maybe Colton can teach you a few things, man. Memes
I'll give you some.
Maybe so. You never know.
But man, so I mean, another busy week. We got a whole week of the Joe Biden administration going down. Thousands of more jobs lost, and then recently we have the left and the right uniting against the common enemy known as the Wall Street hedge fund. And it's a wild ride. And man, before we hop into all that, just want to say thank you again, everybody who's tuning in, watching. If you guys want to support us in any sort of way, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you feel it upon your heart to please donate, please shoot us a message and we can tell you how to do that. You guys make this work for all of us, so thank you again for your support. Thank you, Amanda Spears, for the graphic designs. It's always fire every week. Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, so back on to, not just a bash on Biden fest here, but it's what he's doing. It's not just a bash. It's just literally like reading off everything that he's doing. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, what do you think, Chris? I mean, going through a whole week here and just looking at what's going on.
Look, you don't even have to be partisan to realize that the dude's just he's just going back and doing everything that Trump did. Even if it worked well, he's going against it, and it's just so he can say, I went against Trump. All of these executive orders he's passing, it's ridiculous. He's passing executive orders, basically undoing what Trump did with the opioid crisis, undoing what Trump did, Keystone Pipeline, the wall. He's just everything that possibly Trump did, he's trying to undo. And you just look at his press secretary, and she don't know what to say. She said this. I'll circle back to that. That's all she can say is I'll circle back to that. I don't know what she's circling back to, but she's trying to, and it's ridiculous. I think that this is a good thing though, because those who voted for him just because Orange Man bad, they're gonna actually realize that, oh well, now I'm out of a job, and oh man, now I'm gas is $5 a gallon. Or I lost my job because it's a $15 minimum wage and I actually worked at McDonald's. It's not worth $15 to flip a patty. I mean, and I worked fast food. So before everyone's like, hey, you can't say that. Hey, I worked fast food for 4 years. I can say that. It's not worth $15 now. You're not that special. I'm just going to say that. But I don't know. Omar, what are you feeling about Joe Biden's first full week?
Crazy. And when have we ever seen throughout history 40 executive orders? 40 of them. To be honest, the executive order is probably unconstitutional. Yes, we got the Emancipation Proclamation and other things through executive orders, but the founders' original intent for the office of the president was not for the president to be a king. By instituting executive orders, that's what we're doing. Every president has done it. Biden's doing it more. I don't like it. He officially did the Mexico City executive order this week, which allows for the funding for abortions overseas. So I didn't like that one. There's one that affects me directly. Trump signed in an executive order that would have lowered insulin prices. I need my insulin, folks. I'm a type 1 diabetic. When Biden did that, it struck a chord in me. It should have struck a chord in my parents and all of my family members who are diabetic that supported this man. He also got rid of the executive order that was going to fight the opioid addiction crisis. So Biden's first week in office, I don't think it's a precursor for good things, folks. Colton, you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's already put tens of thousands of people out of jobs with the Keystone Pipeline, and I can only assume he's going to put thousands of more out of jobs. And I saw I guess it was a TikTok video made its way to Instagram of a mom crying, like I guess outside of her pharmacy because she couldn't afford the insulin for her child. So these policies are already affecting the American people in a negative way. So yeah, he's not off to a good start. And I saw today, actually, you've probably seen the graphic where he signed 40 executive orders. And then last October, he said, if you sign executive orders, you're ruling like a dictator. The AP is already siding with him and said that there's missing context with that. So Facebook's already fact checking those graphics and saying there's missing context because he was talking about taxes and he hasn't signed an executive order on taxes. So there's missing context there. So just be aware that big tech, the media is going to be on the side of Biden. So it's not going to be a fun or an easy, hopefully just 4 years. But yeah, we have our work cut out for us for sure. And the media is definitely going to be easy on the press secretary. She's circled back, or she said she will, about 800 times. She's surprisingly said she's going to circle back more than Joe Biden signed executive orders, which is almost impossible, but she's done it. And today in her briefing, one of the reporters followed up with her on one of her circle backs, and she frantically flipped through her notebook looking for her team's answer, and she didn't have it. So she's going to have to circle back on that circle back probably sometime next week. So it's already a mess. Nobody knows what's going on. And it's definitely not a good thing for the next 4 years.
It's very interesting. I don't know if I actually feel bad for her. And I don't know who's at fault here. I feel like she's totally unprepared and possibly very incompetent. But also, what does she have to work with when you have Joe Biden, and his administration that's like literally like sending her out to the wolves every day? Well, not to mind you that the wolves are going to actually bite down and give her crap for it, because they're not. But they're sending her out there totally unprepared. I don't know if she's the best person for the job as it is. And now I just wonder, like, is it more of her not being ready, or is it much more of just her administration, like that administration just being absolutely awful at everything and totally just like hanging her out to dry? And I don't know what it is, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's probably just the White House as a whole. Nobody really knows what's going on. They're still trying to push people through to get them approved to be in Biden's cabinet. So there's still a few missing pieces in the White House, but that's really no excuse for her not being able to answer simple questions on COVID and Biden policy that she should be able to answer, and that the previous administration would have easily and happily answered. So, yeah, I have a feeling she's going to dodge a lot of questions.
And then, the media just goes so soft on her, and the media goes soft on everything. Like Colton said, the Associated Press, they're just like, you're missing some context in that one. Don't criticize Daddy Joe, because he's obviously on their side. I don't understand how millions of people dress up in black with their purple hair go to the streets and say, we are the resistance, as hedge funds are on their side, the millionaires are on their side, the media and every corporation is on their side. It makes no sense. They're all flying the rainbow flag every June or July. I forget which month that is, but out over there. Yeah. There you go, June. Every June, they're all McDonald's got the rainbow flag, but we're the resistance. We're the oppressed ones. No, shut up. Like, being a conservative now, you are the ones labeled as Nazis, and there are politicians calling for us to be put in re-education camps. Like, get the mess out of here. You don't know what you're talking about, and you are a part of the majority. You are allowed. Well, I would say you're a loud majority of people who want to say that, Joe Biden is the resistance against Orange Man bad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that everybody's talking about, especially in the Twitter world, is that Joe Biden undid Trump's ban on transgender people in the military. And when you really look at it in retrospective, wasn't just a transgender ban, but it was like people that were literally trying to go into the military and then get hormones injected, or actually get like surgery, like while being in the military. Like, that wasn't allowed. And I think this is me 100%, is that the United States military isn't a social experiment and shouldn't be treated as such. And the more that we do this, it's going to make us more of a laughing stock on the global scale. And I don't like that at all. I don't like bombing random cities in the Middle East. I think we're heading that direction, and I don't like looking like a bunch of weak losers out there either. And I think that's what we're going to start looking like too. you know, it's gonna look bad. I just don't like it.
You know what? With that, I've always said that if you're ready to serve, serve. If you want to serve, serve. I'm not going to stop you from getting in a uniform and serving, but at the same time, um, with my grandfather being in World War II, my dad being a former Marine, my uncle being in the Army, and my cousin currently serving in the Army near Seattle, Washington. Uh, I like to say, if you're not mission ready, you should not be able to serve. When you're taking those hormones, there's a lot of transition, and you never fully transition, or else you wouldn't have to keep on taking hormones, right? There you go, science. So if you're not mission ready, if you have to keep on taking hormones, if you need an adjustment period for your body to adjust to hormones that you shouldn't be taking in the first place, you're not mission ready. You're not ready to go out there for 6 to 8 weeks without certain necessities of life. That's what you have to do when you're in times of war, when you're trying to keep peace in different countries and in different areas. You know, you're not mission ready. So honestly, this whole ban on it, first off, I probably wouldn't have instilled a ban, but I wouldn't. But if I was a recruiter, I would not be recruiting transgender people. They're not mission ready.
And that's the one thing people are like, oh, it's a discriminatory policy. The military is very discriminatory for a very serious reason. It's because it's supposed to be the best that we have to offer that's out there on the battlefield, that's fighting, that's actually working to make sure that they don't all die and that we secure, our interest and our freedoms over here at the United States. It's not meant to, it's discriminatory. Yes, it's supposed to be discriminatory. If you're too short, you can't join the military. You have too many health conditions, you can't join the military. If you're too stinking blind, you can't join the military. Yeah, it's simple. It's very simple to me. So that's the one thing. It's discriminatory. Yes, the military is very discriminatory for a reason. It's supposed to be not everybody. It's not for everybody, and that's the one thing about it. It's not a social experiment, like I said before. It's very discriminatory. We're supposed to have the best people out there. If you're throwing off a group's cohesion because you don't know what bathroom or what's going on, and you're suffering from gender dysphoria, which is very serious. It's a mental illness. I don't know if this is where you should be. And they call me a horrible person for saying so, but I care about everybody out there. It's not just one person.
And here's the thing about that, Christian. Usually when you're taking hormones, you have to take shots. You can't take a shot when you're in the trenches over in Iraq or Syria, if we're going back there. Or
we're going there.
In war with China. You can't do that in China. You can't do anything. Taking a shot. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have to take shots literally all the time, every day for the rest of my life. I cannot serve in the military, and I came to terms with that years ago, because I just can't drop everything so I can take a shot so I can focus or be healthy. Transgender people have to realize, hey, life does not. I mean, the military operation does not stop because you need to take a shot to stay in whatever state you're in.
Well, it's the mindset that the world revolves around them. You must call me my pronouns. You must respect me. It's my human right to have X, Y, and Z and everything under the sun. They believe the world revolves around them. So it's mind-boggling to them that somebody will say, well, you actually can't do this. It's not a right. You don't have a right to be in the military. It's more of a privilege. And, all of the brave people that sign up and go and do that, I have much respect to them. But it's really, if you want to serve, there's other ways to do it. And if you aren't eligible, then you just can't do it. Like Christian said, if you're too short, you're too tall, you're too fat, you can't do it. It's just, it's just genetics.
It is what it is. And I don't know why it's become such a taboo to talk about the fact that we're talking about the military. It's a very serious thing. And it's just like, they could totally do it. Like, it's not even about that. Like, sure they could. It's the group's cohesion plus everything else that goes into it. Like, we're not just going to change standards and change rules just because of whatever you feel. Like, it's not how that goes. Goodness. Absolutely not. Man. Okay, so switching gears here, Colton, you follow Reddit at all? I mean, you're a memer. So I'm assuming.
I am on the Reddit. That's where I keep up with the meme culture.
Man, okay, so this is for you, man. I want to have you explain this here better for the people here. Explain what's going on with Reddit and just for one, Reddit and GameStop. You know, there's a few other stocks in there too, but Reddit and GameStop here. You know?
Yeah, I'll do my best. So basically, Reddit, if you don't know what Reddit is, it's basically just another social media platform. It's a little different than Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, the main ones. I would say it's probably worse than Twitter. There's a lot of ignorant stuff that happens on Reddit, but I enjoy the conservative and libertarian meme pages, so that's the only reason I'm there. But basically what happened here is there's a Wall Street Bets subreddit, and they noticed that a hedge fund in New York was shorting a stock, which means they're betting on it going down. So they worked together to all buy this GameStop stock and shoot it up. I think it finished at like 1,000%. It went up 1,000%, which is absolutely insane for a stock. It was up there with like Tesla. So that's how high it shot up. And so now Robinhood's like shut down their app for trading to GameStop. AMC was another one, and BlackBerry was another one. I didn't know BlackBerry still was a company. Honestly, I didn't know they were still in the phone game, but maybe they're doing something else. I don't know. But those were like the three main ones. I think Nokia was in there too, which if you're buying a Nokia phone, what are you doing? But those were like the main ones. And so now there's a whole deal with that. And it's kind of exposed our market because, you know, we say we have a free market. And I mean, anybody can get involved. Anybody can start a business. Anybody can put money in Wall Street. You can do really whatever you want. But this is kind of exposing that and saying, no, our system doesn't favor the everyday person that puts money down on Wall Street. They favor the billionaire hedge funds that fund these. I mean, I would say most of the politicians. I mean, the people that funded Joe Biden's campaign, it wasn't small dollar donors. It was the hedge funds on Wall Street. So they're going to protect him. He's going to protect them. There's definitely going to be some things that come out of this. Punishment-wise, I don't think these Redditors are going to get away with this. Unfortunately, they're probably going to be punished pretty bad because they're going to definitely.
What are they going to be punished for? Like, what are the charges that are going to be punished?
Market manipulation will likely be the one. That'll be the main charge because they coordinated.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's kind of insane, being honest, because these hedge funds manipulate the market every day. CNBC, if you watch CNBC in the morning, they manipulate the market. There's a guy that went on the other day, I think, that said that hotel stocks are going down. They're going to plummet. Hotels are going to close down. He said like all hotels. And he specifically called out Hilton hotels. And then it turned out later that day, after people sold Hilton hotels, he bought Hilton hotel stock and made money off of it. So market manipulation happens every day, whether it's in the media or whether it's in these hedge funds, because these hedge funds work together too. They definitely work together to manipulate some of this stock. And the way they make their money, they're betting on these shorts. And so they're betting on companies losing money. And that's a whole nother thing. Like, why are you betting on a company to lose money? You should be wanting to help them make money. But that's, I guess, more of an ethical thing, if you want to say that. But that's kind of the situation right here, or what's going on right now.
Man, you're getting love out here, Colton. That's awesome. You're getting a lot of love out here.
Well, that's what I do. Cheers, Cassidy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I think that you know, as we're all conservatives, we all are for the free market. We're all you know, fiscally conservative, but I have no respect for people who they want to privatize their gains and then socialize the losses. It's disgusting. All of those people that manipulate the market. I'm not saying what people on Reddit did is right, but God, it's fine. I mean, like, let it pass. Let this one pass. Like Colin said, they do it on Wall Street every single day, and they're allowed to get by because they make billions of dollars and then they put it right back into politicians. Let these people, like, I see nothing really wrong with it, you know, but I'm just really sick of seeing those super rich take advantage of everyday Americans. And I'm gonna sound like a socialist right there. Hey, if you make your money, make your money. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I have a problem when you try and then say, "Oh, I lost my money. Government, can you please help me out?" No, screw you. You lost your money. You're bad with money. I don't know. I'm getting to the point, man. I get why people say eat the rich, man. They're just taking advantage of us everyday Americans.
You know what?
So we got Raheem over here. See you guys Monday. Yes, sir. Those of you that don't know, we will be on the Urban Conservative Monday, starting off Black History Month, right? So look forward to that. We'll be sharing more info about that on our page, so please stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And thank you, Raheem. Looking forward to seeing you, brother. Man, Omar, weigh in for us here. What you got?
Well, I'm not the biggest economics person. Right now, I'm taking an economics and public policy course, and I am struggling through it, but I still have an A, so that's a good thing. But what I'll say about this is I want people to make money. I want people to use the market to make money. You use the stock market. Let the free market fix itself. Let the free market decide prices. Let the free market do its job. But at the same time, like Chris said, okay, you're making money and then you lose your money and you ask the government to come back and bail you out. I was never for bailouts. In any case, I think they're crazy. I think they're wrong. We have to decide to let companies fail. We need to let these hedge fund managers fail.
Hey,
and
whose
not
money are we bailing them out with?
Huh?
Whose money are we bailing them out with?
Yeah, taxpayer money.
Oh.
Listen, taxpayer money should not be bailing out companies. It shouldn't. It's unfair. Okay, if I start a company and then, for one, you're not investing in it, you don't want to buy anything from it, but now your tax dollars have to help me out so I can stay rich. But even my workers that don't get anything out of it, I don't like that. If that makes me sound socialist, it makes me sound a little socialist. But I don't like when people cheat the system. When people cheat the free market system, I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. So let's get cheating out of the system. Let's do it fairly. If you fairly make your money, make your money. That's what I want to do with the stock market. I want to make money. I want to make money correctly.
Buy Dogecoin to the moon.
Buy it to the moon. We're not giving financial advice for anybody here that's saying otherwise. We're totally not giving financial advice. But if you want to meet us on the moon, we recommend that you buy Dogecoin.
The moon is nice this time of year. I mean, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, no financial advice out here. None of us are stock market aficionados. But definitely.
I think we're going to go to jail for that one.
Okay.
So you guys,
market manipulation. There you go. FBI is coming down on us, guys.
Manipulating everything. So do you guys remember the movie The Dark Knight Rises, Batman, Ben Affleck and Bane and everything like that? The one thing that's sticking out to me the most in the middle of all of this is the scene where Bane straight up breaks in and he goes to the stock market and it goes in there. I want to see if this will play here. If this will play, see if you guys can hear this.
It's a stock exchange. There's no money you can steal. Really? And why are you people here?
That work out? That play?
Yep.
Yeah. Seriously, it's like, and that's how I'm feeling right now. I feel like Bane. I'm sorry. I feel that way. Oh, you can't. There's no money here. You can't feel like. Oh, really? Why are you guys here? Like, oh, we're sorry. You're allowed to manipulate the market, but we can't. And when we do it, we go to jail. Congress is allowed to go do a lot of insider trading. They knew the economy was going to tank back when COVID was first coming out, and they sold all their stuff off. But Martha Stewart does a little insider trading, and she goes to prison. Other people went to prison for way less. There are different rules for different types of people, and it's not based upon skin color. It's a different type of class out there. I don't want to say we're getting into class warfare, but a lot of people are getting fed up. And they're not going to have this anymore. And it's becoming very, very clear and apparent. But my biggest hope here in the middle of all this is that people could maybe connect the dots when they question what's going on here with Wall Street and the hedge funds And then question about what happens in elections when they stop counting votes at a certain time at night, and then they just start counting them a certain time later. And then you're not allowed to question them, and everybody else is against you. And when you start saying anything, they think you're crazy because they're rigged it, and because they're good. I just hope somebody connects the dots and realizes that these people aren't your friends up at the top. Oh, they're looking out for us. Are they? Are they really? Who's looking out for you? It might be Big Brother, but I don't think they're really looking out for you. And that's in the middle of these last 3 days. That's the biggest thing I've noticed. It was just that trust for these people at an all-time low. All-time. Yeah.
It's weird when the right and the left finally agree on something. That tells you something is wrong and we need to fix it. I never see the day. I thought I would never see the day where AOC and Ted Cruz agree on something.
No, AOC and Donald Trump Jr.
That too.
And then AOC was like, "He's trying to kill me, guys. He's trying to kill me."
Yeah, about that too. Like, gosh, has she filed any criminal charges against anybody yet for these attempted killings of herself?
No, she's just criminally crying on Twitter.
I like to see her try. But here's the thing about that. If you really believe that Republicans are out there to kill you, you need to resign from U.S. Congress. That Congress is not a place for you. Because guess what? When you're out there in politics, there are death threats on your life. There are people that literally do want to kill you. There are people that are going to threaten your life. I don't think anybody in Congress would do that. No, there's no evidence that anybody in Congress has actually threatened her life or tried to kill her. But if she really fears that, she needs to get out of Congress. Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, there's new members of the squad. They already go.
What's idiotic about it is she's like, all these Republican senators, the storming of the Capitol, they try to kill me. Weren't they there with you? They're in the same room with you, and you're like, they're trying to kill me. No, the people outside. You think the people outside would have just marched in don't kill the Republicans, just kill these guys? No, it makes no sense. She's just an idiot. AOC is an idiot. It makes no sense.
Chris,
it's very
what?
Wait,
no, Omar, you said what's the funny thing about that?
The funny thing about it is there were people that stormed the Capitol that were calling for Mike Pence's head. Mike Pence of all people.
There you go.
So there was no respect of party, if you want to call it that. It was mainly, okay, we're just mad. We're going to storm the Capitol. And if they were to get to any of the senators or representatives or even the former vice president, it wouldn't have mattered who it was. They were going to do a free-for-all on whoever they wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. It didn't matter if you were a Republican or Democrat.
I mean, the biggest thing that I noticed of all this is that after everybody's literally losing their money, realizing that the game's rigged against them, and she just says, "Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me," just straight for attention. Unbelievable. And she does this all the time. Photo ops, making everything about herself when there's an actual issue at hand. That's just, and that's where I think Congress and politics have turned into Hollywood. These people are just straight up acting and just straight up clout chasing all day long.
Mm-hmm. She calls out career politicians for this kind of stuff all the time, but she's the most career politician out. She's going for the moon with this. She's gonna be in politics forever. You will not get her out of politics. She's gonna be like Bernie Sanders. She found an easy job that she just has to basically smile, take pictures, and cry, and then she's gonna get reelected because the people in her district, frankly, are stupid. And I'm sorry if you live in her district, but if you voted for her, you're stupid. I'm
Chris,
sorry.
there are rumors that she may challenge Chuck Schumer.
There you go. Honestly, that'd be funny. I'm not gonna lie. That would be funny.
I hope
see what happens.
I hope she does, so Chuck Schumer can beat her. Even though Chuck Schumer's really no better, I'd much rather a Chuck Schumer that knows Senate rules than AOC, who would just try to demolish the entire system.
She would just go on the Senate floor and just be like, just start screaming. That's all she does.
Here's the thing where I disagree. I'd probably have her in there than Schumer because any sort of legislation she will put up will not pass. It will not pass. Dead upon arrival, it'll literally just be a total stalemate because nobody's gonna going to go wrong with whatever she passes. And compared to Chuck Schumer, where they have a weasel agenda out there. She's so far left that the establishment people there don't like her at all. So she goes out there and she wants her agenda. She doesn't sponsor great legislation. It's all terrible. She falls in line at the end of the day at some point, but I think she's less of a threat than Schumer.
Well, maybe New York will wise up and get a Republican in there. You never know. Maybe let's keep hope alive.
If enough people move out of New York City, then maybe. I mean, people are leaving in droves, so maybe we can just have upstate New York run the elections for the next decade or so.
There you go.
Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens.
The NRA did leave, and I'm highly upset about that. But
Left / filed for bankruptcy / moving to.
Well, they
Texas.
filed for bankruptcy to leave. I think that was a maneuver that they could leave and take their assets with them, or whatever. I'm not the expert on bankruptcy, but I think they filed that what is it, Chapter 11 bankruptcy just because they wanted to move to Texas. It's pretty smart to me, I guess.
It's kind of surprising that the NRA was in New York. Bad move, but
well, think about this. Rudy Giuliani used to run New York. There have been
and Rudy Giuliani just has a big mouth and he just talks a lot, and his hair dye is going down his face. I'm not a Giuliani fan. Back in the day, sure. Now it's just.
There will be no Rudy slander. There will be no Rudy slander. I refuse to allow it. None of it.
That man visited my
he's on vacation now. Let's just say that he's just chilling on an island somewhere, enjoying himself.
As you should.
Yeah.
You know, 80 plus years old. So that's one of those big things. And then, I mean, well, here now we're looking at Reddit and GameStop, and now now Colton, can you explain? I know we kind of brushed over it. You talked about it for a little bit, but let's talk Robinhood.
Yeah.
We got to talk Robinhood because it isn't part of our episode title, so we got to talk Robinhood here.
Yeah. Robinhood, it's an app that makes trading and the stock market easy access for the everyday person. You don't have to go to these websites where you have to deposit like $500 or $1,000, where these more wealthier traders go. It's a free app. You can deposit probably however much you want, and you can do probably as little amount of purchases and trades as you want. It just makes it easier and more accessible for the everyday man. And this is, I assume, where most of the Redditors went, because most of these people probably aren't very rich if they're on Reddit all the time. And I wouldn't probably trust Wall Street bets on Reddit either, because, I mean, Reddit's not a very reliable source. So if I had to guess, this is where a lot of these people go to lose money. And so I'm assuming a lot of the activity came from Robinhood. And once this kind of made news, national news, made the rounds, Robinhood shut down trading. It paused trading on GameStop, AMC, and Nokia, maybe BlackBerry as well. Those were the four main ones. And I think they've opened it up to where it's limited trading now. But yeah, if you bought that GameStop stock, I'd be trying to sell it as soon as possible, because I think it went down pretty big today.
I saw that there was speculation about people's shares in those stocks being sold without their consent. Can you confirm that? And have you heard anything about that?
I don't know about that. Would you mean Robinhood sold their stock?
Yeah, like Robinhood.
I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is market manipulation, like they say. It's kind of really not up to you anymore if you get convicted on that. And that's kind of where the SEC also steps in. And once you violate market manipulation as an everyday person, not a billionaire, then they kind of run the rules and they make decisions after that. So I'm sure, coordinated with hedge funds, Robinhood, and the SEC, these people will probably lose their stock. They won't make any money off of it. And the main ones leading the charge will probably go to jail.
There's different rules for different people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just kind of how our country is right now. And it's probably not going to improve anytime soon. at least in the next 4 years.
You get a chance to see Vlad's interview? Any of you guys get to see that on CNBC?
No, I didn't.
The owner of Robinhood, where he just like kind of backtracked and like denied, that they were like cutting people off and everything like that, and just saying that, the market, is being manipulated, and we just want to make sure everybody's assets are safe and that, they're able to buy their stuff safely. So we have a lot of traffic coming in. And then like they shut it down. And it really seems like when they shut it down, it gave a shot for the billionaires to go ahead and pull out and get, secure themselves.
Yeah,
before.
Yeah, they pulled out of GameStop pretty quickly. So, yeah, they're already out. They won't lose any more money, but it's unfortunate for the people that put money in GameStop, especially the people that were just kind of following along or that saw it on the news before it really took off and went viral. That said, "Oh, I'll put $10 or $20 in GameStop," and it shot up, and they made a couple $100 off of it. Now they can't pull it out, and they might lose that money. Robinhood might take it from them, or they might just hold their money in that account until it goes back down to like whatever it was at before, where they either lose their $10 or they don't make any money off of it.
Chris, you were going to say something, man.
I was gonna say just that, yeah, it's unfortunate that, a lot of people are kind of putting money into it. I don't know of too many people who have like put in a lot of money on these kind of like just viral stocks that just came out. Like nobody, let me not say nobody. I'm sure somebody put in a little bit too much money, but most people are like, I'll throw in $50. I can lose $50, but if I make money, I make money off of it. And, I think a lot of people did make some sort of money, whether it was now with GameStop and AMC and stuff like that, you can't really pull out. Of course, those hedge funds can pull out and, sell and be done and stop losing their money. But us common people, us peons, no, we don't have that privilege. But, on the other side, you have cryptocurrency where, there's less rules to that. So, I feel like a lot of people made a little bit of money on that, and then kind of pulled out and sold. But we'll see what happens. There's kind of some speculation that it'll go up over the weekend as the stock market's closed, and you have crypto. Obviously, is not like the stock market; they're open on the weekend. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but it's a shame, and hopefully for anyone who is benefiting from this market manipulation, not the Reddit market manipulation. I mean, these hedge funds and what they're doing. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, a conservative or liberal. You are disgusting, and I do not want to be your friend. I don't want to support you. Like that's it. I have no sympathy for those politicians calling out and saying that that's okay. Please resign. I do not want to support you. I don't care if there's an R next to your name. I will not support you. Same thing for those senators that over the summer who sold all their stocks right before coronavirus, and all of that huge scandal that happened. I don't care if you were a Republican or a Democrat. I do not support you. And it's just as simple as that. It's not partisan. This is just ethics, and you have no morals if that's what you're going to do and manipulate the market.
It's sad, but I also hope it's an opportunity for a great awakening. And I think it's a great opportunity to reach across and like show people that, man, putting all your trust in the government and the people that are pulling the strings isn't necessarily the greatest thing on earth. Will people get it? Maybe some will fall through the cracks and understand. I have a feeling that a lot won't, and we'll eventually get back to just where it is, right versus left, and everybody's at each other's throats. It's very unfortunate. But for the time being, that I hope people become really, really skeptical, and they keep that skepticism just going and going and going, and start wondering what's really in their best interest. I really hope they get to that point. Question everything, everybody. Question everything all the time. Question.
100%. Play devil's advocate for everything. Somebody tells you something, question that, because it really, don't trust anybody. No one out here is looking out for your own well-being. Look out for your own. I don't want to say no one cares about you, but kind of true, not gonna gloss over it. People want to look out for themselves and their families before they're going to look out for you. And obviously, we can see it. It's a dog eat dog world. And people are going to look out for themselves, especially the super elite and the rich. They're looking out for themselves and what's going to make them money. They don't care about you.
I'll say this: trust nobody but God. That's biblical. The Bible says, "Don't trust man. Don't put your trust in man. Put your trust in God." Everything I do, everything I put money in, I pray over it. I pray that it does nothing but prosper me. I pray that it gets me closer to God. I pray that something good comes out of everything that I do, everything I put money in, everything I put time in. So if you go with that, if you're Christian and you're watching and you go with that notion and put that in your daily life, I promise you your life will be much better.
Absolutely. Well, for the first time in a long time, man, we're going to switch gears and talk about stuff that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Trying to get into the world of sports. It's been too darn long. Man, there's been some moves made in the NFL. There's been some big news. Biggest thing, big thing out here. Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston, even with the signing of the new head coach. It wasn't who he wanted. And he wants out. He wants to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to go to the Jets, apparently. He said he wouldn't mind going to the Jets. Potentially, I don't think he's going to stay at Houston at all. I think he's definitely gone, but I'm not sure exactly where he's going. Man, Colton, where do you think Deshaun Watson's at? You think he's going to the Jets? Do you think he's going to make it out?
I don't know why anybody would want to go to the Jets. Honestly, the Jets are the worst team in the NFL, and you have to live in New York City. Like, New York City's the worst it's been probably since the 80s. Who wants to live in New York City right now? Absolutely. Well, Deshaun Watson does. That's probably really about it. I don't understand that move, but maybe he sees something there. I don't know. But, yeah, he's definitely not staying in Houston. That's for sure. I also saw where Denver's a likely landing spot for him. So I could see Denver as a pretty good possibility.
Really? That'd be terrible because you know about that John Elway curse, right? You go to Denver, man, all these quarterbacks,
I don't think it's that, Christian.
Ever since they kicked out Tim Tebow, man, that team's been cursed quarterbacks. Minus the little Peyton Manning stint where they won a Super Bowl, but everybody else has been absolutely awful.
The one too. You know what? I'll say to this. Even though they hired a black head coach, it wasn't the head coach that he wanted. Which I don't get. He's a mobile quarterback. The head coach is coming from the Ravens, and the Ravens have been doing great with Lamar Jackson. Of course, Lamar Jackson is hit or miss with some things, but he's a pretty good quarterback and will be a good quarterback for a long time. So, David Cullen, I don't know what that offense is going to look like, but I think it's going to be a mobile quarterback offense. So it could have helped Deshaun Watson, but they did not. He had to learn who the new GM was through, I think, Facebook or Twitter. So Deshaun Watson was already upset about that. So I don't think he was fully included in the hiring of the new head coach. So he's
supposed to be included in the processes.
The whole organization.
Yeah. Do you think players should be included in those processes now?
High profile players, because Deshaun Watson has to be the leader of the team. JJ Watt, he's a fractional 13-year veteran. He's probably got about 4 years left in him, 4 good years left in him. He might go for 6, but I see 4 good years left for JJ Watt. He's not the leader of the team. It would be Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson should have been included. But I'm holding out that if Drew Brees retires, he's coming down to New Orleans. I would love to see him in Sean Payton's offense. I think Sean Payton would absolutely ball out with Deshaun Watson. Denver's not a good choice. Denver's offense coordinator is Pat Shurmur. Look at what Pat Shurmur has done with offenses everywhere he goes. They're terrible. He had one stroke of luck in Minnesota a few years back, and I think they had probably 3 quarterbacks at that time. So, no, I can't see him going to Denver. I can see him going to the Jets because people like Robert Saleh. It's hard to dislike Robert Saleh. He's a people person. He's a player's coach. So he may want to go there, but they may want to stick with Sam Darnold. I don't know. I just hope we trade for him. I hope we put out a trade for him.
All right. So, so right now, apparently their asking price for Deshaun Watson right now is 3 first-round picks plus a player. They believe he's a generational talent and he's worth all that and a bag of candy. Do you guys think that's too steep of ask, or do you think it's enough, or do you think they should be asking more? I mean, he did tear his ACL once already. All right, man. He's got a serious injury under his belt, man. When I look at it's almost like show me the Carfax. Like this dude's got a car accident on his record. Like he's got an accident on his record. He's been messed up once. Still a fantastic player. Team let him down this year, absolutely. But 3 first-round picks, 3. So we're talking years and years in advance that these teams aren't going to have a shot at it. Is Deshaun Watson worth all of that? Is he really cold? Is he really worth all of that?
I think it depends 100% on the situation. If you're a GM and you look at the quarterback position and you say, if I can get an upgrade and if I have a Deshaun Watson running my offense, we can win a Super Bowl, then I think 100% it's worth 3-round draft picks. Any other situation outside of that, no, it's not. It's not worth 3 draft picks because you're going to need those first-round draft picks to get offensive linemen, a running back, receiver, defensive players. There are much better places those could go if you have at least a decent quarterback to get you by. But if you're not ready to win a Super Bowl now, if you don't need that quarterback to get you over that hump, to get you to the Super Bowl level, I don't think it's worth 3 first-round draft picks.
I mean, it's a lot to give up, and like you were saying, I mean, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you're already pee away every draft pick you get each year. Why not give away 3 first-round picks? You don't draft right in the first round the past 5 years, so what's 3 years? Why not? Why not give it up for Deshaun Watson? What do I care? For goodness sake, Howie Roseman over there just
care about the cap situation.
What?
You care about the cap situation. That may be the only thing that's stopping my Saints from getting Deshaun Watson. The cap situation.
I don't think the only person we got on cap like that's Carson Wentz. That's taking up all that cap space right now.
Where are you going to send him to? Who's going to want that trade? Who's going to want that trade?
All right, bro. All right, I'm just going to say the Denver Broncos took Brock Osweiler for all that money. Somebody is going to take him for that money. Somebody's going to take it for that money. You can take away Brock Osweiler for $90 million and have that less than 2 years.
I'll say this. I think it's too high. I'll say 2 first-round picks maybe and a player, not 3. Maybe a first and a third and a player. That's how I would deal them. I think that's how Mickey Loomis would probably take it in New Orleans. I'm sorry, I love talking about New Orleans and trying to get trades for my team.
I leave that bum team.
I just want you to know we both have at least one championship. We only have one championship, so you can't talk as much as me.
In the last decade, all right.
The only person that can talk is Colton, but then again, he hasn't won since the 90s. So.
That's true. None of my teams have won since the 90s. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. We haven't won since 95. The Cowboys haven't won since 95. I'm a University of Tennessee fan. We won the national championship in 98. The 90s were my decade, and I was born for 13 months of those 90s. So I got to live the Tennessee national championship. I was 1 month old.
Good 13 months.
It was a good 13 months. We celebrated, partied pretty hard.
Well, I'll say this about Deshaun. If the Saints make this trade and give up 3 first-round draft picks, I'm going to call Ricky Williams. This is a Ricky Williams trade.
Yeah, let's talk about the Saints. Let's talk realistic. I could see him going.
Realistic. That is realistic.
Jets. I think Detroit needs a quarterback now. I think the Niners could possibly give up Jimmy G for something here. But you're going to talk about the Saints. Or the Saints, like, come on. Like,
we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback.
Good old years all the time. Nobody wants.
We need a quarterback now. Breeze is gone. I don't trust Jameis Winston. I'm sorry.
Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Pick it.
Neither of them. You know what? I will keep my first-round pick, and I'm getting Mac Jones from Alabama.
Mac Jones. Alabama quarterbacks ain't fizzling out unless it's
Mac Jones. Mac Jones can do it.
Mac Jones will put you at a nice 6-10.
We have a great supporting cast. We got Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders will stick around, Alvin Kamara.
I can't do it, Omar. I'm gonna cut you off. I cut you off.
Don't you try me. Don't you?
We can't. Let's talk. Let's just talk. We don't got to talk about our favorite team the whole time. Don't talk about your favorite team. Like talk. Let's talk real.
You do that with your Eagles.
I talk for a quick second, but I'm not talking realistically, like going down the line about who we're going to sign.
Yeah, realistically, y'all could trade Carson Wentz to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. We don't know. We don't know until pen and paper is put down.
I also wouldn't say Michael Thomas is much of a threat. His 6-yard catches aren't really doing too much down the field.
You know, that was the biggest fantasy bummer of the year. I got to say that was absolutely devastating for everybody in the fantasy world. I feel sorry a little bit, but my goodness, that was awful.
He'll bounce back.
Matthew Stafford is walking out on Detroit. The team's mutually agreed. They're going to part ways. He's heading out. He's stepping out. He's 32 years old. You know, he's had a lot of injuries, you know, stepped here and there. Chris, I feel sorry, man. Detroit's kind of, you know, they're going through it, man. They're still going through it. You know.
We've been going through it as long as I've been. I mean, it's as long as I've really known what football is, we've been going through it. It's really just, you know, that's why I always say, you know, I'm about as proficient in sports as Joe Biden is in public speaking. And the reason that is because I am from Detroit. We have no real good teams. And so I kind of, I'll call myself a fake fan all day. When they make it somewhere, I'll be there. And until then, I'm not watching it. I don't want to witness the downfall. I know every Thanksgiving we'll be watching football, and it's just a disappointment. At least we get the turkey afterwards. But yeah, Matthew Stafford walking out in Detroit. A lot of people, I will say, are very upset. Matthew Stafford is loved in Detroit. In my humble opinion, the people that I know, people do love Matthew Stafford. It's not even because of, you know, the player that he is. It's more the person that he is. He is a really amazing person, and I think so. I don't. He's a great player, of course, but I do think he's an amazing person. I think he has a heart of gold, and so does his wife. They do a lot in the Detroit area. They've done a lot on local stuff, charities, and things like that. So he's loved. So him leaving, you know, it is sad, but the Lions need a change. So see you, Matt, and we'll see you soon. We got to change some stuff up. I mean, other than just the quarterback, let's change up some more stuff. But we got a new coach, so we'll see what happens.
Got it. Yeah, it might need a full home makeover. You know, I just need a full home makeover out there in Detroit. There's a few landing spots are potentially talking about with Matthew Stafford walking to. I mean, now that Phillip Rivers is retiring, Indianapolis is possibly a home for him. I don't know. Do you think he fits? Frank Reich can do a lot of things. I'll tell you what, Frank Reich is a mastermind, you know, behind the scenes there. I think Matthew Stafford right now currently is a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers was this year. And I think he could probably take him a lot further than Phillip Rivers even brought him, even though they had a good run this year with a good defense for the most part. You know, so I think that's a solid spot. I mean, where do you guys? I mean, I can see him going to Indianapolis. I can see him going to San Francisco. I can really see him giving up Jimmy Garoppolo, taking Matthew Stafford at 32 years old, and Kyle Shanahan working magic. But I mean,
no,
it's just. And they're talking about giving up 2 first-round picks out in Indianapolis for Matthew Stafford. Is he worth 2 first-round picks? No. And that's where it's that's
hey, Chris. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. Matthew Stafford, he reminds me of Breeze, just a taller version. But 2 first-round picks at 32 years old, all of the injuries he sustained. I can't see it. If you're going to trade for him, you better have a good offensive line, because if he gets hurt, that's it. That's your season. San Francisco has a good offensive scheme for him to stay upright, but they don't have a good offensive line. Trent Williams at left tackle, he's gonna fall by the wayside in a couple of years. And that's the only guy I can name off of that offensive line, honestly. Indianapolis, I think they had someone retire just now, and I think it was the left tackle. So you need to replace your left tackle and keep Matthew Stafford upright. I can't see Indianapolis doing that unless they find a left tackle in the free agency. I don't know where he goes. He can't go to the Jets. I know that they have a porous offensive line. Yeah. They need to spend 5 years remaking the offensive line, to be honest. Yeah. So I don't know where he goes.
thing here. They're saying possibly Chicago Bears, the Washington team,
Terrible.
the Carolina Panthers.
I can see
And
that.
the craziest one on the list that I don't know, I didn't really think about was the Los Angeles Rams. Of all places.
No. Sean McVay moves too fast in his play calling for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford will get confused. He'll bobble, mess up.
Jared Goff is not much better. He really is.
No, but Jared Goff can work with Sean McVay. Listen, the only person that really brought out anything with Alex Smith was Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Andy Reid is a great coach. He's a great QB whisperer, and he did some good things there too. But who brought out the best in Alex Smith? It was Jim Harbaugh. You need that type of coach to bring out the best in you, and that's Jared Goff. Maybe that's the best he gets. I don't know. Maybe he'll be better, but Jared and Sean McVay, they're still magic together.
But we don't know if that's the best that it can be because he's been with Sean the whole time. Alex Smith, on the other hand, had a slew of coaches before Harbaugh got there. Then all of a sudden, oh wow, he can actually play really well. In contrast, Jared Goff and Sean McVay have been together since day one. When Jared Goff,
when you separate them, Jared Goff is going to be a bust. I'm telling you,
he's been a bust. He ain't that great.
He's not a bust. He's stable and he's solid. He's pretty solid for that team.
He's a good 8-8 quarterback. That's really all he's good for. And he has a really good defense on the other side of the football. I mean, led by Aaron Donald, who's probably the best pass rusher in the game. And he still can't put up points. I mean, you got to put up points, obviously, to win. You got to score more points than the other team.
You know who he reminds me of?
You just can't do that. That's true. Yeah.
Eli was because Jared Goff is tough. He's played through injuries. Eli Manning played. I remember when Eli won his first Super Bowl. He was supposed to be out for 6 weeks after week 1. He was back in week 2 playing. He played horribly, but he's tough. And I think Jared Goff is tough. He's a tough quarterback.
I don't see him as being a franchise figure. I don't see him sticking around too much longer. If the Rams want to be serious, I think they got to get serious, and that's at the quarterback position. I don't think it's Jared Goff. I think they got to make some moves. I don't know about drafting anybody necessarily, going young, but there's some decent people in the market right now when you look at it. There's some people that could shake it up. Just imagining something like crazy like Deshaun Watson and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. That is something. That's something.
They had not given up first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson.
I mean, the Rams have been known to give up draft picks for good players, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Well, I can't see him doing it, knowing that they need a left tackle now. Andrew Whitworth is old. I don't know if he can do it next year. They need a left tackle. They need defensive ends. They need a really good linebacker right now. So I can't see him trading first-round picks right now.
I'm telling you, the quarterback is the face of the franchise, man. People will invest a lot in a quarterback, and they will give up a lot for a quarterback.
Well, you invested in Carson Wentz. How did that turn out for you?
We still have him, don't we?
And guess what? You're porous. You have a porous offensive line right now.
Yeah,
you have a porous defensive line, except for Fletcher Cox, who came from Mississippi, by the way.
We won a Super Bowl. All right, you want to talk about this?
Barely. You barely beat Tom. If Tom wouldn't have fumbled the ball, if the Patriots wouldn't have fumbled the ball, I don't know if it was Tom.
That was a strip sack.
They would have won it too.
Long. Goodness, how are you going to discredit everything like that?
That whole entire game. Come on.
It's playmaking, baby. We make plays. We're fun to watch.
One play.
We're actually fun to watch in January and like the Who Dat whatever down there in the Superdome.
Excuse me. We were cheated. We were cheated several times. We were cheated by the Rams. We were cheated by the Vikings. And
let's not talk about cheating when you have bounty games on your head. Let's not talk about cheating. I didn't want to do this, Omar. I didn't want to have it go like this. I didn't want this to happen. But we're going to talk about cheating. We're going to go into this. Like we can't. You got to be.
Bring it.
No, we don't need to do this, man. We got other people here. We got other people here. There's other stuff going on. Matthew Stafford's leaving. The Philadelphia Eagles, on their long coaching hunt, decide to sign Nick Sirianni, a protege of Frank Reich. our former offensive coordinator. And I don't know how much say he's really going to have in the player development there in Philadelphia, and I don't know where that goes where it goes next. He just said today that he's open at the quarterback position. He wants to do what's best for the team, put us in the best position. So that doesn't sound great for Carson Wentz's sake. He could be gone. I don't know where he goes. I have no idea where he goes if he walks. Big news, fantasy news at least. Zach Ertz is going to be out of Philly. He's not going to be re-signed, so that's a big hit. That's a big hit. I don't know where Zach Ertz goes, but that guy.
Zach Ertz can come to Dallas as long as Carson Wentz doesn't come with him.
He can come to New Orleans too.
That's absolutely awful.
And you know what? Let me tell you this.
My stomach.
I will gladly take Zach Ertz and Matthew Stafford. He's a Texas guy. The Cowboys might not be bringing back Dak. A nice sign and trade there from Dakota Prescott. Send him to Detroit. Bring Matthew Stafford home to Dallas. Get a few good years out of him. You have Zach Ertz. You have Amari Cooper. You have Ezekiel Elliott, which you really kind of don't have Ezekiel Elliott at this point. He had a horrible year. But, I mean, he's still there. He can have a breakout run from time to time. Matthew Stafford might be who they need. Obviously, Mike McCarthy's offense didn't do too well last year, so maybe – which Dak was out for a decent amount of the year. But quarterback change might be what Dallas needs.
They're already talking. They said possibly Zach Ertz could land in Indianapolis, which would be very interesting because Trey Burton's there right now, a former Eagle himself. But the Buffalo Bills need a tight end, and that with Josh Allen could cause problems in the AFC East if that were to happen. That wouldn't be too bad to see. That'd be some shake-up fun happen. I wouldn't mind to watch that happen.
You know what, Colton? You make a good point. You make a good point with your team. Your team is stacked, yet they couldn't pull it together. I don't blame Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry. I blame Jerry Jones. Jerry needs to get out of his way, hire a GM, hire a president, and just let them work and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to just let you guys run it and get out of my own way. He's tried to get back to Super Bowl and get far in the play. He's tried to get far in the playoffs since 1995. You know, since 95, that's how many years? It's what, 25, nearly 30 years. 30 years. You can't get past the divisional round. I think it's time for Jerry not to sell the team, keep the team in the family. I don't care, but it's time to hire somebody to actually run that team, and let Mike McCarthy do what he does best. He's a great coach. Let him make personnel decisions. Let a GM pair him with a good GM. But to be honest, y'all have a stacked team. I was scared of y'all's team when you drafted CeeDee Lamb. I said, "Oh crap, the Cowboys are gonna do something, and I can't talk about them." Then you gave up 3 leads, and I was like, "No, what is happening in Cowboy land?" But I think for y'all, what y'all have to do is get rid of Jerry.
Yeah, I agree. He's the root of all of our problems.
Yeah,
it's Jerry's world, and you're just living in it.
Unfortunately.
But you know what? Jerry made a lot of money. So I do want to be like Jerry in that regards.
I think that a lot of things could be good for the Cowboys franchise if Jerry Jones were to not be there. So I hope Jerry Jones has a great another 50 years of life. I hope he keeps running that franchise. I hope the Cowboys pay Dak $200 million, and I hope hope all the best for that guy.
We'll pay Dak if you pay Carson. We'll pay Dak if you pay Carson.
We already paid Carson. I don't know.
Pay him again. Pay him again. Every year, pay him again.
You guys haven't paid Dak yet.
I want Carson to have a lifetime contract.
You know what? I hope. You know what? I actually want Jerry to stay on. I want Carson to stay on, so I can have a good clear victory.
It's called January, and you guys can't get past that. So I'm talking about having clear victory.
When you get back to January, you let me know.
We've been to January the last 3-4 years, just like y'all have.
No, you have not. When's the last time you've been to 2017?
No, we went to last season.
You keep telling me, get rid. Hey,
we won the NFC East this season in the last 3 years.
Forget about your 17.
We won it in 17. Went to the playoffs in 18. Went to the playoffs in 19. We
You
didn't
did not go to the playoffs in
20.
19. You did not go to the playoffs in 19.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have
Hey guys, why don't we just gang up on the Lions? Like, when's the last time they've been to the playoffs? It's been decades.
Look, that's like
I have started a petition to take away the Thanksgiving game from the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys for the fact that nobody.
Yeah, that's not gonna
I am
happen.
signing that. Yeah,
That's
signing
like-
that. Let's get rid
you
of it.
you guys are kicking the homeless man that's sleeping outside the McDonald's right now. Let my team. We know in Detroit. We know we're bad. We know that we don't got what's going on. We know we should. I mean, we could be good, but just things don't go our way. It's just. I would just say it like that. It's Detroit. It's in the water.
Hey, listen, Chris. You got two great former Saints coaches up there. Your head coach is a former Saints coach. Our former assistant head coach. Your defensive coordinator. We have blocked Aaron Glenn from signing with other teams just because he's a good secondary coach. Yeah, our secondary messes up every so often, but they've been improving every single year since he's been there. I think you guys improve a lot. I really do.
Well, let's see. Next year, fingers crossed. Maybe I can be a fan next year and I can actually watch a game. Maybe I'll pay
We're
attention.
gonna come back here next year and you guys win a Super Bowl and we're gonna be like, yeah, fake fan.
Hey, you guys can call me that. That's fine. I'll get it tattooed on my forehead. Fake fan.
Yeah, man, that is something to see. But man, it's been a busy week. A lot of stuff going on. I like to finally get to unwind and talk sports for a little bit. Politics sometimes gets a little bit monotonous, and everything in the world's spinning at a very fast pace. Things are still what they are. Life isn't 100% awful. A lot of shady stuff going on. It's what we already knew before, but the public's finally getting exposed to it. So hope they wake up at least. That's my final thoughts for the day.
I'll say honestly, final thoughts. If this week hasn't really taught you that we don't have to be partisan on everything, we can really agree with the other side. I think it really does reign true that it shouldn't be red versus blue all the time. Of course, there's some things we're going to disagree on, but it really is those in power versus everyone else. It is a small minority who have the power, who are always going to look out for themselves and their own interests rather than us. We really need to come back together as Americans and really remember that we all live in this wonderful country. We're all blessed to be here, and we need to come together. We need to work together. And honestly, screw those in power right now. They just want to keep us down. I don't want to sound like a commie and so we got to rise up or anything, but no, we really do need to kind of take our country back, and we need to bring back those checks and balances that limit the president from making 40 executive orders in 1 week, or limit hedge funds from manipulating the market. But when some neckbeards on Reddit do it, they're going to go to federal prison for 40 years. I mean, it's just remember that, at the end of the day, red or blue, we just want this country to succeed, and we want what's best for everybody. The people in power, they don't want that. They want what's best for them. So.
Yeah, totally agree, Chris. We need to start watching out. We need to start waking up. We need to start paying attention. This week has taught us we need to pay attention to who's in power, what they're doing. We need to pay attention to our money. We need to pay attention to everything that affects us. I know we talk a lot about, local officials affecting us more than the presidency. It all affects us. We need to be watching what Biden's doing. Also, you need to watch what your county commissioner is doing or your county supervisor is doing. You need to watch what these people are doing with your money, what these people are doing to help improve your life, and what these people are doing to destroy it all. And hold those folks accountable. It's time to hold Wall Street accountable and get the cheating out of the system. It's time to we have to hold President Biden accountable and his vice president, his entire new cabinet. Hold those folks accountable. Also, like Christian said, hey, I'm glad we got a chance to talk sports. I love talking sports, at least the NFL, obviously with everybody here. It's been great. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah. The last 4 years were amazing for the conservative movement. The conservative movement and even the Republican Party grew a ton over the last 4 years, even though there was still some division within the party. Just the everyday American. So many people joined the conservative movement. And I thought the past 4 years were the best 4 years of the conservative movement. But I truly think that these next 4 years are going to be more important for the conservative movement. We'll see more people become conservative in the next 4 years than we saw in the last 4 years, just because of how terrible of a president Joe Biden's going to be.
I think we're in
Unfortunately.
for it. I think we're really in for it. I think we really are. Gosh, thank you everybody again for tuning in. Another great week. We've been back to back 3 nights in a row here doing different shows for different colleges. This has been really fun. Can't wait to get back at it again next week. We'll see you guys then. And thank you all for the support.